I hope you're all talking still about the same thing. If you're anything like me, I could, well, no, you're hopefully not. I could talk about this for hours and what it would actually mean. 10 minutes doesn't even cut it for me when I think about what something like that actually means. By a very quick show of hands, who would have known this weather was coming? Okay. Tip number 1, weather alerts. Met Office have a fantastic app. Okay, download it, put it on your phone, prompt you when there is a weather alarm coming. So whenever they're about to issue a weather alert to tell you something bad's coming, it'll actually buzz your phone. Okay, really, really good thing to have. The other thing you can look at on it is what's happened in the last couple of hours. So it'll show you the likes of, has there been a pile of snow falling outside? If you're anything like me, sometimes you go in your office and you don't look out the window, and you might not even have noticed out the window until somebody else prompted it to you. So first thing, Met Office app, absolutely brilliant. How would this affect your home? Just a few ideas. Anybody completely rural? What would this mean to you? Too big a forum for anybody to offer up ideas? Okay. How many of you would be cut off? No? That's a good thing. Okay. What about, would your staff still be able to get in? Hit and miss? Okay. Are you on a road that the road service actually clears every day? No? Okay. Do you have any plan to dig it out? Or to get local volunteers to come give you a hand? Are you going to send the staff out with a shovel? Shovel? So self-support is probably the first step if you know that you're not getting help. What would you need to continue as normal? So at this moment in time, you're safe in your building, everybody's okay in the building, there's no utilities off at this point. You're just stranded. Food supplies? Okay. So how long does your food last for normally? A day? 2 days? 2 weeks? Okay. So if you can hold up for 2 weeks, you're good? Okay. That's very good. But you need the staff to stay then to cook that? Yeah. So what would we do with our staff? Anybody keeping whoever's in? Yeah? Okay. Rotating staff? Okay. Give them some rest. What about the staff that you're keeping? Do they have children at school? Do they have elderly family that they look after or caring responsibilities? Can they stay, or would they be wanting to start walking out? It's something to think about, because the people you rely on may be relied on by somebody else. Would you think to ask for outside help? Let's say in the first 30 minutes, would you panic? Or would you start thinking, so back to the Met Office, go see, is it going to thaw anytime soon? Because that might fall and it's gone in 10 minutes. Happens. And the Met Office app will tell you the temperatures outside, and if they're above kind of 3-4 degrees, at least there's some hope it might start heading towards thawing. That said, when I looked at last year's and it was showing 1 degree, 2 degrees, we knew it wasn't thawing. So I could tell you when I looked a week's time, it was still going to be there. Because once it's fallen, if the temperatures go above a certain temperature, they're not melting. So that helps your planning, and it helps you to understand, and you can get that off the Met Office. If that was 5 hours later, would you still be staying looking after yourself, or would you be starting to make some phone calls? Anybody phoning the trust just to let them know? I think it's helpful, because this might turn into a very big incident. So it's good to prompt them, by the by, we're cut off right now. This is what we're trying to do, but just in case something goes wrong, it's good to let them know. What if you needed a 999 call in the meantime? You need to be telling them then that you can't get in. So if you are isolated and cut off, it's important others know. If the amber warning was out then, saying only travel when necessary, you've pretty much told me you're keeping your staff anyway, so they're not travelling. But it's not safe to travel on an amber or a red. is what the guidance is, and you need to check if your business is in that area where they're saying don't travel, because that might mean your staff think they shouldn't come to work tonight. So check the Met Office. Always good to keep an eye to the warnings. A few other wee hints and tips then. Are you all registered on the NI Water and the NIA Network's critical care registers? Because if you have a nursing home or a residential home, you should be on that list. What that means is they know you exist and they know your contact details. And if your electricity, say, goes off, then they will phone you to check and to tell you when they think it's going back on. The other thing is that they both have fantastic online updates now, and you can actually go at any time and have a look and see if there's outages in your area. So when your water suddenly isn't working, and it's not just your building, have a quick check on their app or their website, because the website actually will say the outage, what it is and how long it's going for. So you'll know, say for example there's a burst down the street, they'll put it onto their online map, and it means you actually know what's the cause. And if it's not on the online map, they don't know. So you need to tell them. The NI Water Register is if you rely on water for your ongoing needs. If I was a household, that would be, say for example, dialysis or something along those lines. So it's water relied on for medical needs. So I'm guessing most of you classify into that. And the NIE one is if you need it for medical needs, is things like electrical beds, stair lifts, which I'm guessing most of you have. So I think you all should probably be on both. If you don't know if you're at risk of flooding, this is the online place, Infrastructure NI, that has a flood map, and it'll tell you what areas are at risk of flooding. So again, it's a good one in terms of checking what you're at risk of. How many of you have a grab bag, an emergency kit that you lift when you walk out the door? Okay. If you don't have it, fantastic thing to have. Never go anywhere without it. The high-vis tabard so that people can find you. The emergency phone numbers of everybody that you need. Site layout map, maybe a wee list of things that would be dangerous in the building, so that you can tell the fire and rescue if they're coming to your building. So, you know, things like if there's medical oxygen in lots of different places. That's the kind of thing that they look for, and the likes of the next of kin. I know it is a nightmare trying to keep a list of residents' medication, care needs, and next of kin, but even if you've got 80% of them, you're well on the right direction to go in. And I know that there's all the issues with keeping it safe and locked up and making sure it doesn't get into the wrong hands. But equally, there will be a way within your system to do that, because you need to be able to contact friends and family. Whenever something like this happens, say you move them all, the first thing is going to be telling the friends and family where they are, so that you don't have a panic from everybody. So that's the kind of things that we look for. What I deal with in the small scale stuff is the red pill, the blue pill and the green pill, because nobody knows the names of their medications. Thankfully, you will know that a lot better than most. So hopefully that one should be easier. But if you leave without all the medication, getting the urgent stuff is going to be critical. So making sure you know that, you know, Mrs. Smith is due her medication in the next hour. Otherwise, she will have knock-on implications of X, Y, Z. So that's why you need to have an idea behind that, so you can prioritise that support. Making sure then all the staff are trained as part of the thing. And as I keep going back to, most of the agencies will not fully understand. You know, the person who turns up at your door, who's a constable, will not understand that you have 80 people in the building and that this is what they do and this is their needs. You need to be the person who tells them that, so that they can understand and go back to their bosses and say, it's not just a matter of telling them to get out. This is way more complex. I need help. So the sooner we can escalate and say that there's a problem and it's not going to be quick, then we can get the help there faster. As I say, evacuating is always a last option, but if the residents do have to be evacuated, you're still their support, because the worst thing you could do to Mrs. Smith, who has no other contacts there, is to leave all the familiar faces, to be leaving her on her own. So you still need to be there to help and to help look after and to help work out what to do with them. Our facilities are not ideal for residential homes, except in the short term. So as I said, the nursing or the leisure centres and things are not ideal. But that said, if that's all we've got to get them out of the snow, they're coming to us until we do the next thing. We can get you a building opened anywhere as quick as humanly possible. But if you know your local building that you can take them to, much faster than us. So if you've already thought, you know, my 2 doors down there's another care home, can I take them to their dining room temporarily? That might be 50% of my residents can go there because they can walk. The rest all needs assistance. what I'm going to have to do for the rest of them. So you can start breaking down your residents because you know them and you know what they can and can't do. So it means you can start having that thought now as to what you would do. And that joint arrangement for temporary shelter with another home, they're more likely to have the right facilities. So if there is anybody nearby, go make friends. If there's not, then we need to look at that plan for your own organisation. That's all the things I was going to cover today. I am happy to take any questions, and I do apologise, I have to run off afterwards and get back down to coordination again. But if you have anything that you want to talk about, I'm happy to discuss it.